Hello, everyone. Welcome to Artistically Married, where we explore the inner workings of our marriage driven by artistic expression. We're your hosts, Jake Ackerman.
And Brianne Steinberg.
All right, today we have Katey Gatta in the studio today.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah, we're so excited. We just saw you recently at a house show. What a pleasure. What a treasure. I feel like we've seen you on stage so many times, but it was so nice to have you so intimately.
Yeah, that was, I found that entire experience very nerve-wracking.
Oh, yeah?
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I've spent less of my playing hours in small confined spaces like that. I kind of feel the bigger it is, the more at ease I feel.
Okay.
So when you suck it down and you can actually look in people's eyes while you're singing, that is terrifying in its own right.
Hilarious. Yeah, and it was with Amanda Lynn, and actually she had a similar sentiment, right?
Yeah.
We had Amanda. I said to her, like, what about making eye contact with your audience? And she was like, oh, it's horrible.
It's just so intimate.
Yeah.
Especially singing songs that you write about, stuff that's happened in your life. And then all of a sudden you're staring
so
into somebody
vulnerable.
else's eyes while literally talking about your experience. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah,
Right.
I guess, typically you're on stage with like bright lights and you really can't see your audience.
There's a level of disconnect there. Yeah.
I feel that being a dancer. People are like, oh, is it nervous getting on stage? I'm like, no, because I look in the audience, it's just bright lights. Like I can't see anyone's face.
It's the best. And I mean, I started singing really, really young. My first big experiences were doing anthems for sporting events when I was 9 and 10.
Oh, cool.
So that fear thing that probably should have kicked into my brain just never really took hold until it turned the other way. And in intimate spaces where I could see these faces, that became a more fearful spot to be playing music in.
Okay.
Kind of crazy.
Is it scary to, because usually the more people are like, nervous. But that makes sense if it's, the vulnerability factor. How do you feel when you're doing it like in recording studios?
Recording studios are hard.
Yeah.
I think music's a really interesting medium in the sense that there's a bunch of different ways to be great at music and they're not all connected to one another. So you can be a great musician, just a great player, or you could be a really great songwriter, but that doesn't necessarily make you a great musician. You could be a great performer, but that doesn't make you a great musician or a great songwriter. And you can be really great in the studio, but that also doesn't connect to the other three things.
Right.
So it's all these different disciplines within the one umbrella that you have to get really good at.
Totally. Yeah. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, and I find recording you're working against yourself. Like there's something more nerve-wracking about playing something when record is on. I don't know why. I don't know. I find that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Just the pressure.
1000%.
Yeah, just the pressure of playing it perfect. Or it's going to be heard back.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be able to listen to it back.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Well, I am not a musician, but I am grateful for you guys because otherwise, with no music, there's no dance.
Well, yeah, actually,
that's true.
Sorry.
I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, the dancers just follow the musicians around. If you talk to any dancers, they're just like worshiping musicians at all times.
Have you ever done dancing to live musicians?
No, so actually it's crazy. We've done, this is our 15th year, and our venue this year is Lakeshore Catholic in Port Colborne. And they actually have like a pit for live music, so that's next on the gamut. So growing up, when I was doing a lot of contemporary dance, there was lots of work with like live drumming or live pianists. A lot of ballet is done with like a live piano player, where they'll just be like, give me a tempo or give me a specific type of classical piano. Will be like done with ballet. But since I've opened my own studio, we haven't done it yet, and I think that's the next step.
You did that thing with Rod Standish. That was live, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, yes, I have. Yeah,
what was the thing with Rod Standish?
Yeah, we did a musical with Rod Standish. Oh, and Adam as well.
Oh, and Adam,
Adam Buller, yeah. Yeah, okay, we did. Our first couple of years, I think it was a lot of just like me and my friends running, dancing at the dance studio. We didn't have a lot of students yet. We did kind of like some musical-esque type of things where they were playing and we were dancing. Totally. But
Yeah.
in my like childhood years, a ton of our contemporary dance was done with live players in classes.
So cool.
So cool. But yeah, I'm hoping to get back there because now we're getting into more like musicals. So I'm like, oh, this is a perfect opportunity. Now we have a venue, and like I'm thinking this venue will be like a 5-year project. Like usually with a recital venue, you pick a venue and you grow into it. You want something that like you're not filling the first year. And then as you get bigger,
yes, that
right?
makes sense.
Yeah.
And Lakeshore is a really beautiful room too.
Yeah.
To get to grow into.
Yeah. Did you go to school there?
No, I grew up in Welland and I went to school at Centennial, but just in the last couple of years, I got asked to judge some sort of arts competition. I think it was beat making. I did not feel qualified, but I judged some 17-year-olds on the beats they made that day.
Fun.
And it was all kind of beyond comprehension to me that they were already that proficient in the software and could, within the span of 4 hours, pump out what they were pumping out. It was crazy.
Wow. They're working with like a drum pad,
Logic. I think there was some live instruments there. It's all Ryan Guay from Street Pharmacy does I think he teaches at Lakeshore, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool.
But
Okay.
he kind of spearheaded that initiative.
Okay.
And he had asked me to be a judge, which I was very flattered.
Cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know
cool.
he's a teacher.
Yeah.
They're so good. I remember, are they still playing together? Yeah, I feel like
They are still active.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they're so good. I feel like they were playing for a while in Guelph where I was living. Who was the... No, I won't think about it and it'll come back to me. I remember going to see them a lot in Guelph. For some reason, they were playing up there when I was living there. What was the band that Dano was in before? He was in My Summer
Marantz
Hurricanes.
Project.
Marantz Project.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't know Marantz Project, but I've opened for Hurricane a bunch of times. They're
Okay.
a really sweet crew.
Yeah, they've been jamming here because of the mirrors.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because the
That's so
mirrors in
cool.
the dance studio.
Right,
they're
and they
doing,
can
like,
work out all their
the
new
choreos.
choreography.
Yeah.
So you've gotten a sneak peek of the new show.
Totally, yeah. We just like prop open the studio door and just sit by the door and watch. Yeah. We tried to go on to the show in Toronto last week, and it ended up being canceled because they had like that crazy ice storm.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I know, but
Yeah,
I heard
the storm didn't happen, but it hit like
it
more
hit
north.
Barrie Aurelia area got hit really bad. But I feel like their reschedule was at the place in, I feel like you've played there before, and it's like right beside Brimstone in Ridgeway.
Oh, the
You played at the
Sanctuary.
Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you played a show there?
I've played at the Sanctuary a couple times. It's
Okay.
a really special room.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very,
Yeah,
very
that's-
vibey.
Yeah. So I think that's where the reschedule is.
Very cool.
Yeah. Is it this? No, I think it's like a couple of Fridays from now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. All right, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about your stage name. So you go by Sleepy Jean. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about that and kind of what inspired that name?
Well, it was a pandemic era change. I had been playing music under my own given name for a really long time. And I had started to write this music that kind of felt like it didn't connect to the stuff I had been doing prior to that. And I wanted to try and maintain family names in some way. So it started as being Thalia Jean. Thalia is my mom's mother's name, and we actually shared a birthday. She's no longer with us, but we have the same birthday. So I felt connected to that side of the family. And then my middle name is Jeannie, which was a nickname that my dad's youngest sister had. And it was these two people that are both no longer with us, but the two family names kind of combined. And then I went to go do a video shoot, and the lovely woman that was hosting this video series couldn't say the name Thalia. And I started panicking in that moment because part of the idea behind this name change was nobody ever spells my first name correctly. And I was going to pick this name that was really easy to spell so that part of the career mishap would be over.
Right.
And then she couldn't say the name. And I remember
my
sitting there panicking and
gosh.
going, I can't call this project that. I have to change it again. And I had just started rolling out the name change. And one of my best friends from high school had commented on one of the pictures, "Cheer up, Sleepy Jean," and it kind of just it took hold. I like music from the 1960s. The Monkees reference was really cool. I was a well-earned urban legend for falling asleep behind the driver's wheel while taking Apex. So all the things just kind of worked together, and I was like, this is the name.
What?
Yeah. And I know I was an urban legend.
I was like, yep, Welland legend. I got this.
No,
yeah,
no,
for
no,
sure.
no,
You're the best thing that ever came out of Welland.
No,
Like,
oh my God, no. That's the Romano brothers. That's not me. That's the Romanos.
Right.
No, but I was like a little bit of an urban legend just in driver's school because my sisters both took the same course that I did, and they would talk about the girl who fell asleep driving, and that was me.
That's funny.
How?
Dwight, if you're listening to this, just skip this part. My driving instructor, his car smelled like old man. And I was 16. I was staying up too late. I was already sleeping through my morning classes.
God.
And it was just, we were on a long... It was the road where they're starting to get you ready for the highway. I was doing 80, and I just started nodding off.
Oh my gosh, hilarious.
And then he called my parents and asked if I was narcoleptic, and I had a bedtime again after that.
Not allowed to stay up and study.
Yeah, definitely not.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good story.
So yeah, that's the name came
There's the story. Okay.
from a couple different places.
I love it. I think, yeah, you're right. It definitely is that like smoky, sultry. Like it's totally reflective of your music. I love it.
Oh,
I think
thank
it's a great
you.
name. So yeah, just to kind of speak on that, the vintage feel of your music. How would you describe your sound to our audience? We're gonna get you playing, but yeah. How would you describe your sound?
I mean, what you have written down is cinematic vintage feel. That I think that would probably be some of the best descriptors for it. It's definitely
Right.
it's definitely singer-songwriter at its core.
Yeah.
All of the lyrics are derived from real life experiences and conversations and things that have just actually happened to me, and I like to wrap them up. I think I've always kind of been a little bit of a dramatic person, and I tend to remember things almost cinematically, like it's in a movie or bits and pieces of my life together in that way.
Okay.
And I wanted to write music that felt like I was soundtracking something.
Cool. Yeah, I loved, I felt this when we were watching you on like a big stage a bunch of times too, but like just your storytelling intermittently, about the songs that you're about to do, I think, it's just so, you just create that picture of like your stories that you're telling and then also like through the music. So yeah, I think it's
very cool.
I was going to ask that too, if it was mostly personal experience or if it was real stuff or if it was, just kind of imaginative, like making stories.
It is a combination. A lot of it is driven by personal experience, and then a lot of it comes from my brain working overtime and expanding upon personal experience and it becoming completely imaginary and not tied to reality in any way anymore.
Right. It's just your brain like processing it, processing an experience, being like, imagine if this happened, imagine if that happened.
And I mean, like the last record that we put out, a lot of the songs on it were written about a breakup that didn't happen until after the record was made.
Oh.
Which was...
You were trying to like work through the breakup?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
The issue was that the person that I was working through that breakup also played music in the band.
Oh,
so
no.
I, in retrospect, I take a lot more responsibility for how unpleasant that must have been for him.
Yeah. Did he know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
He was well aware, but he was also a really great sport about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still have a friendship now? I mean, obviously players.
Not so much now. Eventually we had the romantic breakup, and then about a year later we had the true breakup, which was the musical breakup.
Oh,
because that
way
was
worse.
Honestly, I was surprised it was
so much
that
worse.
felt like
because
far
that's
more
like
of the loss.
That's a friendship, right? Like that's the part that like, or a professional, like those are the relationships that are really hard.
I think for me, I view playing music as kind of this sacred thing. And when you get to play music with other people, that's showing the truest parts of yourself. Mm-hmm. So to lose someone who had witnessed so much growth and change and expansion in that world and then have them disappear, that's
so hard.
It was not pleasant.
No. Ugh.
But we have an excellent guitar player who stepped into that place, and
You're not going to date him.
He is married with a beautiful 4-year-old son.
Perfect.
Yes. So now all my bandmates are just bandmates, and it's lovely.
That's the take-home message.
Yeah. Don't date your bandmates.
Yeah, do not date your bandmates. It's not worth it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Can you take us through your writing process? I know you kind of just touched on, the storytelling, but actually the dynamics of it, about writing lyrics or writing melodies, kind of which one goes first, and just take us through that process.
It really depends on the song and the day, and I think where the moon is and the sky.
Yeah.
I normally keep a note just in my phone on the notes app of lyric ideas. And I'm a big believer. I'll start normally with lyric, and then if something really starts to resonate, I'll sit down and I'll sing it. And I know I've had spirited debates with other musicians. I refuse to record the songs when I first write them because if I can't sing it back the next day, pretty close to the way I had it the day before, it's probably not memorable enough to keep working on.
Oh, wow.
So I put like all these little barriers in place for myself.
Okay.
But yeah, it really, there's been songs that I've picked at for years and years and years. And then there's been songs that come out in whooshes and you don't think about it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
I would say the same about dance. Sometimes I'm just like banging my head against the wall. I'm like, I have to get this done, and it takes so long, and nothing's clicking, and nothing's inspiring. And then sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I can just see this dance. Like I'll hear a piece of music, and it just like hits me, and I'm like, yep, this is what it's supposed to look like.
And I think too, there's a song on the last record called No Tomorrow that originally I had written it after watching True Detective, and I really liked the theme song by the Handsome family in True Detective, and I got really inspired, and I wrote 3 different versions of my own kind of take on that sort of song.
Wow.
And I remember bringing it to the drummer, and he listened to it, and we kind of did like some shakery stuff, and it was sort of sparse, and he said, okay, let's not worry about it for this record, let's leave it for the next one. And then I had also a couple months prior sent my drummer, his name's Marshall. He is incredible. He's played drums with lots of different projects and has toured all over the world. He's
Bureau,
yeah.
Oh my god, I taught his daughters.
Did you really?
Yeah. His daughters used to dance here.
Oh
He's a wizard
and an amazing human being.
Unbelievable.
1000%. So
okay, was he who played on your last album?
Marshall's been the only drummer. He is the only long-standing band member left in this band with me. Yeah,
crazy.
Marshall. We met right before the pandemic hit, and he had just kind of offhand said, if you ever need drums, let me know. And then all of a sudden, I had just gotten a little $2,000 grant for making something musical, and I was home with all this time, and I remember messaging him on Facebook and saying, so I think I'm going to make a record in my bedroom closet. Can I send you tracks and you send me back drums? And he's like, okay. So the first year of us working on music together, we didn't play in the same room.
Wow.
It wasn't until later that we started jamming and putting the pieces together like that. So we've
heard lots of stories like that during the pandemic, right? It forced us all into that scenario.
Mm-hmm. And it was such a treat to get to play with him in person and
his energy, his smile. Oh, he's the best.
The first time I played No Tomorrow for Marshall, we did something completely different with it. And I had already put a bug in his ear that I liked this different song from the 1960s called Le Temps de l'Amour by Francois Hardy, and it has like this very surfy kind of drum beat in it. And then I brought the song back to him a couple months later, and he's listening to it, and I must have just picked up the speed or played it a little differently that day, and he said, Katey, that drum part you've been begging me to do, it goes with this. And then we pieced it together and the song became the song.
Oh my gosh.
But
awesome.
I had the pieces there. It was just we had to be in the right mindset to do it. So songs are so cool like that.
And work together like that. Yeah. All the sit downs and chats that we've had with musicians, that's always like a big theme for them, is that like the collaboration of working with someone else and you bringing your energies together. It's just so powerful.
Well, I mean, in my case, I normally act as the primary songwriter in my project, but I don't consider myself to be. I might bring the bones of the songs to the guys, but it has always ended up being that they change it and their influences and things that they hear end up in these songs.
Yeah,
and
it's really such a different. We've been listening to all your music for the week, getting ready for the podcast.
Well, I was gonna ask that. The albums sound like really well produced. It's clean. It's smooth. It sounds great. I was curious if maybe this was like, if it was I should have looked in that you had band members, but I didn't know if it was like a solo project. And
so this last record, so I've got 2 records under this project name. The first one's Idle Hands, the second one's Shoot Me in a Dream, and both feature Marshall on drums, percussion, and vibraphone. That's the kind of
yep, we used to have one in our house.
Yeah, we had one for a while. They're amazing.
I remember when he started playing vibraphone on our stuff, and I just couldn't get over how
can't get enough.
Magical it is.
Yeah.
It's a really whimsical sound.
Yeah.
So that's Marshall. And then on the records, the past guitar player, Dan Seary, did most of the guitar playing, most of the bass playing, and really helped out with arrangements. We had Ben Gertson, who is in a project called Shore Thing. They were also known as Limestone Chorus. They were a big deal around here. He's one of the organizers of Cicada Music Festival now.
Oh, cool.
So he's not playing so much. But Bren always did strings for us. And then, there was a couple other people who kind of filtered in and out throughout those record projects. But a lot of the time, it was just sort of me dreaming up this world that I wanted to build and trying to make it happen.
Yeah, it turned out great.
It turned out so good. Yeah. And there really is like different vibes throughout the whole album. I mean, typically you listen to an album, you're like, okay, I get it. This is the artist, but it's, from one to the other when you're just like doing some of your stuff by yourself. And then when you include some of the other players, it really is like such different sounds. But yeah, it is. I agree. It's very well produced. Where did you guys record it? Not in your closet.
No.
You came out of the bedroom closet.
Came out of the bedroom closet swinging. Yeah. We did drums and bass at Noble Street Studios in Toronto, and then the producer / orchestral arrangement fellow named Dejan. We recorded the rest in his apartment.
Cool.
In Toronto. And then he packed up after we were done and moved to LA. So he doesn't even live in Canada anymore.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Wow. Crazy. LA. Well, Toronto's not on fire.
Okay.
I don't know why I get so emotional when people move from Canada to the States. Now it's warranted.
I mean,
yeah,
I think Dejan ended up doing a lot more touring work. If I'm not mistaken, he was
fun
doing playback engineer stuff or front of house engineer stuff for Meghan Trainor on her last tour. So he's done some like really big touring.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure he worked with Demi Lovato at one point. He's doing great stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. I take it back.
Yeah.
It's fine. You went to LA. Okay, I thought this was a fun question, just because, I was like, listening to your albums back, it gave us like all kinds of imagery. But we were thinking if your music was soundtrack to a movie, what film would it be?
I wrote a fake movie that we were soundtracking it to.
Amazing.
It starred, there's this excellent picture of my dad's dad, who I called my Babaji. It's a Gujarati word for grandfather.
Okay.
But it was a picture of my Babaji when he would have been in his 30s, and he looked like this Indian Persian version of James Bond. So in my head, I had written this little movie that starred him running around Africa doing something.
Amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
You were telling us off air. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your family story?
Yeah, I mean, I touch on it a little bit in some of these songs.
Yeah.
But my dad's family, my dad was born in Uganda along with his brother and his sister. And in 1972, Idi Amin came into power. He was a Ugandan dictator. He was responsible for one of the worst genocides in the world. It's just not as well known as some of the other ones. If you want to watch a movie about it, check out The Last King of Scotland with Forrest Whitaker. He won an Oscar for his portrayal of Idi Amin.
Wow.
In that movie. And in the movie, they actually show there was an agent expulsion where if you were not of Ugandan descent, you were asked to leave the country. So because my grandparents are Zoroastrian Persians, which is a whole other thing that takes like 10 minutes to explain. But
Oh,
they
yeah.
are not of Ugandan descent. And my grandfather was part owner in the bus company. So he was placed on a hit list and they basically had to flee. They had to leave everything
So
that he had built
wild.
behind. And they landed in India with his family for a couple years. And then my grandmother, my Papaji, had a brother in London, England, and a sister in Thorold, Ontario, and they decided to move to Thorold.
Wow. Yeah, I know you were telling us off there. I think it's crazy.
It's a really, it's interesting to have such a unique, but also not at all unique family story like that. There's lots of families that have
100%.
the strife and the sacrifice to get the opportunity for, you know, future generations to have a better shot.
Yeah. As being like born and raised here, and now we have so much experience with like kids coming into the studio with their family stories and kind of where they've come from. I think it's such a great opportunity, like being Canadian, to make friendships like this and hear these stories, because they end up turning into, like you said, storytelling, right?
Yeah.
And then they come out through our arts and our culture, because it adds to our Canadian culture, all the different stories and people that have brought from other countries.
Very much so.
We love sharing that, especially with our students, and my kids being able to like get to, you know, make friendships in those situations, because I'm like, you know, you've been born and raised here, you have no idea what's going on in other places of the world, right?
Yeah, and I mean, even as a person who feels slightly more aware because of my upbringing,
Connected,
I still really have no
Yeah,
idea.
you were still born here.
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, you would have had an English accent.
Yes, maybe I would.
Instead of Canadian. Hilarious. Awesome. So I mean, you were talking about your songwriting process, and we were just talking about this with some like visual artists, but how do you decide when a song is done?
I don't know. Did anybody else have a good answer to this?
No, they
I
really
don't
were
think
like,
so.
no.
It's
Everyone was
always
just
a
like,
tough
I'm
question.
still working on them. I'm still working on pieces. I'm still working on songs. You know, I'll change something, and then I think that's why you end up seeing, you know, like remixes.
Well, I like Jeff had a story. There's an old painter that would want to go into other people's houses and take the painting back off the wall and then work
keep
more
working
on
at
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think music is lucky if you're going to compare the two mediums, in that you can write a song, you can record that song, but as long as that song is still being performed live, it still gets to evolve and change and grow with you. It doesn't have to be the same thing every time.
Yeah.
And people love that.
Yes.
When they get like a unique version of a song in a performance, they love that.
It's so funny because I know when I play cover gigs, I get complimented on my unique versions of cover songs.
Yeah,
and I
your take on them.
I always laugh, and I'm very quick to say I didn't learn the song properly. So it's not, this was not me being unique or being intelligent about it. It's I didn't learn it, and I'm putting my spin on it because I don't know how to play it right.
Oh my god!
And I feel
You're not giving yourself enough credit.
I feel the same about playing my own songs though, because after a while, I don't remember how I wanted to do it at first, and it's just evolved into the way I'm doing it in this moment, which will be different than the way I'm going to want to do it in 3 months.
Right.
Which is very annoying for the musicians around me, but they put up with me, and I'm very grateful for that.
Totally. Yeah, I think that's great. Like I said, I think that's like people's favorite thing when you're going to watch a show and it ends up like with a different, you know, variation of it. It's awesome.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's why you pay for the concerts.
Yep.
See them live. Awesome. Any pre-show rituals that you do before you go on to, like, let's say a big performance?
The biggest one is just vocal warm-ups, and I'm not even particularly as disciplined as I probably should be in that world, but I'm a big fan of buzzing, and I'm very proud of I don't even know if buzzing's the right word. You're just supposed to choose a low note and go for as long as you can. And when I went to go see, I call him a vocal chiropractor, but essentially I went to go see this ENT professional in Toronto who will reset your jaw, which can help with your tone and your pitch accuracy.
Wow.
So I had gone to see him, and he gave me a couple exercises to do as my consistent warm up and warm downs. And the big one was to do that buzzing. And when I started, I could barely make it 10 seconds, and now I can do 25 seconds because I do it so much. So I'm very proud of that. That's my pre-show ritual.
Wow.
Drink something warm and walk around just blowing my lips.
Nice. That's a crazy ENT to go to.
He's incredible. He owns a clinic called the Voice Clinic, and he works on everybody. The wall of fame that this man has in his office.
Wow.
Is it there? Like, he has, like, all the people that he's worked
like toured with Shawn Mendes, a bunch of big name rock stars. I can't even remember all of them now, but I just remember being so grateful that I was like, okay, he's gonna know how to put my job back in place.
Were you like struggling with something that it was like motivating to go there?
It was, again, post-pandemic, and I was starting to play more, and I just kind of felt off getting back into it.
Because you had taken the break?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I had gone from, it had been a ramp up. I didn't play consistently while I was in university, but then post-university, I had a job in Toronto, and I played between 3 and 4 nights a week. So I was way more consistent.
Wow.
And then I quit that job and I moved home. And I just lived off playing music for about 2.5 years. So I did something between 250 and 275 gigs a year, which now feels insane to me.
Yeah.
And then that stopped, like just flat.
Because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
So there weren't gigs anymore. I wasn't singing out. I was at home writing, and it felt like all of these other skills started growing in the absence of
Yeah, you actually got to sit down and relax for a little while.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most fruitful writing periods of my life, was the beginning of the pandemic. And like those pandemic era years, I wrote just so much in that period of time.
Yeah.
Because I had the time to. But when I went back to singing, I remember having a lot of anxiety and feeling like I didn't know what I was doing anymore. And rather than stew in that, I went to go see
some professionals
and say, okay, is there something wrong? Can you make sure that I'm lined up?
Yeah.
And how do I start to manage this a little bit more clearly?
Yeah, deal with the physicality first.
Because singing's a really physical thing to do. It doesn't seem like it would be, but it's an entire body activity.
Yeah, when I was doing so my degree's in speech pathology, and there was definitely different subsects that were going into some of those things, and I loved it because it was overlapping with music, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. If I could like work on singers or work on on some of those different like facets, I thought it was so cool. But yeah, there is a lot involved in like you said, it's a full body. Mm-hmm. And if it's not, then you're not using your full potential, right? So
yeah. And I mean, I didn't even realize until I went and spent some time, his name's Aaron, with the person that was doing the resetting. Mm-hmm. And I remember him explaining to me, I think I had asked the question, what does it mean to engage your diaphraham? Because you always picture
about that
here
when you're singing. Yeah.
And I just realized that no one in this podcast can see me. I'm like gesturing to like right at like the top of my rib cage.
Yeah.
And he was the first person to explain to me that you're actually resonating through that diaphragm and your pelvic floor.
All that space.
And when you want power, he told me to go watch Aretha Franklin videos, and then I couldn't stop watching Aretha Franklin videos after he explained this to me. You have to bear down like you're going to go to the bathroom, and that's where you get a lot of like punchy vocal power from.
Wow.
And if you watch Aretha Franklin get going, she kind of crouches a little bit because she's contracting to shoot all that air up and give her the power she wants.
Wearing a diaper.
Exactly.
So you talked about, you went to university in Toronto?
I went to university in St. Catharines.
Oh, okay.
I graduated from Brock with
me too.
Oh.
If you can walk and talk.
You can go to Brock.
I just said it to my mother the other day.
I hated that phrase.
So mad. My mom's like a Brock alumni, right? And she was like, we didn't have that phrase. Like they were first generation able to go to university. Right. Period. Like their parents didn't go to university. Her dad worked at GM, and her mom was like a housewife.
I think in our family, I might be first generation to finish university.
100%. Yeah. So my mom was just like, she was a teacher, and she was just so proud of the fact that she got to university. She's like, don't you dare say that.
Don't say walk and talk. No, that was if you grew up in the St. Catharines bubble, or in the Niagara region, rather, that was the general sentiment about going to the hometown advantage.
Yeah. Well, people would kill now to go to Brock. I actually just recently went there because I had to go to, I don't know, like the public health or something building. And I can't, have you been there lately?
Not
There's like
properly.
25 extra buildings that weren't there when we were going to university. It was so crazy.
It's kind of nuts.
It's huge. Yeah.
I know that they're renovating Isaac's.
Oh, yeah?
That's a big thing right now.
Okay.
Through my other job, I had a meeting last year with the business director for like Busu, and they had talked about that pub nights are basically dead.
Oh, no.
Thursday nights at Isaac's are not a thing anymore.
Come on. Man, that's where I saw the Arkells for the first time.
Right?
Best night of my life.
I saw July Talk.
Oh, yeah?
I can remember Peter bleeding into something because Leah hit him too hard in the face with a microphone.
Oh, my God. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Good story. Yeah, that's crazy. So are they going to try to get something going? Because really, there's like nothing there. I mean, obviously, everyone can go downtown St. Paul, but there's nothing like around that area.
Apparently, there's just not a demand for it anymore. That's the big thing.
Like people aren't going out.
University kids aren't drinking as much.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Which is a good thing.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. However, they're also not socializing or making friendships, and they're dying of loneliness. So we got to find somewhere in between.
Something in between. Yeah.
It's all about networking.
Yeah, I mean, we still got to get them out to like connect and still hang out and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe board games or something. Maybe Nintendo.
I think the board game cafe downtown is very busy.
Yeah, totally.
No.
You got to get them out. Isaac's was the best.
Yeah, I remember liking Isaac's.
What did you take at Brock?
I was a business admin with co-op major.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this has been like a big theme because we're constantly talking to artists. And really, I mean, ourselves included, I mean, we're constantly talking about how we figure out how to run our business, and the business is ourselves. Right?
Well, I remember when I was applying to university, I was very opinionated, as 17 and 18-year-olds are prone to be. And I really wanted to go to school for music, and I got into a couple really good music programs.
Right.
And my parents, who are very no nonsense, said, you know how to play music. You don't know how to pay rent. Maybe we make sure you do that.
100%.
And I was voluntold to go into a business program.
Yeah.
Which now has served me time and time again.
Right?
And
yeah,
my parents love the comeback in that story, that I'm not just angry that I didn't go to school for music anymore.
Yeah, 100%. I have the exact same story, that I was like, oh, I should go to school for dance. I know I want to open a dance studio. I know that.
Yeah.
And yeah, my parents were really influential in saying, like, I feel like the story was, what happens if you break both your legs or something. Like, it sounds ridiculous, but they were insinuating like you need a backup plan, right? If this falls through, neither one of them had done business before. So I think in their minds they were like, yeah, go and learn those skills. Learn a skill that, is something different than what you're already naturally involved in. And
I remember while I was at Brock, because I was in the co-op program, the first time I went into a working environment, I became very, very clear that a business education from a theoretical kind of university perspective wasn't actually going to get me a job at the end of it. So I can remember I chose to learn how to code, and I started doing graphic design and building websites because I wanted to have a digital trade. I didn't want to be a carpenter. I didn't want to be a plumber. I didn't want to have to show up to a job site. But my idea was, one day I'm going to be touring and I'm going to be sitting in the back of the van and I can work on a website while somebody else drives me to the next gig. Yeah, I can do this in complimentary of my independent aspirations. Exactly. Yeah. And have you done graphic stuff? Lots of different stuff. Lots of different websites over the years. Do you do your own graphic stuff too? I was noticing it. Yeah. I'm like, this is all amazing. Yeah, I do all my own graphic design for my music. I do graphic design for other folks. Cool. I've built lots of websites for for different family friends and other musicians.
Nice.
And yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I mean, you get to use all your talents, right?
It's a fun skill set to have.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, just being able to advocate for yourself. I think that was like a big aha moment for me anyways with the studio too. Just being able to like create those graphics that grab people's attention, give them a lot of information quickly. Like people are not reading pages. They want to see a picture, date, time, clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, from the music perspective, I've talked to a lot of like my musical colleagues about this. Really good album and single artwork design should tell you what the song's going to sound like before you even hit play.
Cool.
And that was always my idea behind all my visual identity. You should kind of understand what you're getting into before you even listen.
I totally agree.
Love
when
that.
I'm looking for new music and just kind of cruising over an app or something like that, or even picking out CDs, the cover art had a lot to do with it. And it has nothing to do with art. You know, you're looking for something to listen to, but that cover art made a big difference.
Yeah, it grabs you in, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I love it. So I think it made sense. Obviously, we were at a house show for this, but I've actually, like I said, I've seen you on a big stage and no shoes. I love that. Some of my favorite musicians are no shoes. Do you want to give us some insight on that?
I feel it's again so funny. After the pandemic, I started wearing my shoes because I was terrified that somehow it would come out that COVID spread through your feet. And I did not want to seem dirty or something like that. So I started wearing my shoes at the pandemic. But prior to that,
I guess it was before that I saw you.
It was, yeah.
I think I saw you like down by the falls one time, and I was like, she's wearing no shoes.
Well, I had a carpet that I brought everywhere with me that I always laid out.
Yeah.
I remember it was quite the thing that I would walk into some bar I'd never played in before and
roll my
carpet out and take my shoes off.
Yeah.
Just settle in and get ready to go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did really like it doing that though. It felt very, very grounding in that,
Don't get him started.
Is grounding a big thing for you?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, he's
definitely
obsessed with it.
It's vital.
Vital.
Yeah.
No, it really is. It helps you feel connected to all of the energy around you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. And that was my way of zoning in.
Cool. Yeah, I thought it was great. It was so organic. Loved it. Awesome. What's your favorite song that you've ever written and why? Too heavy? You can pick more than one.
I mean, I don't really. I would say one of my favorite songs I've ever written is a song called Lonely as I Can Be. It's on this last record.
Okay.
I did a online songwriters workshop with a really incredible musician out of Texas named Jolie Holland. And one of the exercises she gave was to take a song that you love and pick 3 things from it and integrate it into a song that you were going to write. And the 3 things could be a chord change, a lyric, a melody choice. It could be any of these things. And I was listening to this record by Les Paul, who was an incredible guitar player on top of making guitars. And
I was going to say, was it Les Paul that made the guitars?
The Les Paul.
Les Paul.
And he made these beautiful records with his wife, Mary Ford, singing.
Okay.
And they have this song, Lonesome Old Town, that I really loved. And I kind of picked my favorite parts of that. And that song came together really quickly. And it kind of felt like a thesis statement for the sort of music I wanted to be making. Mm-hmm. So that's probably one of my favorite songwriting experiences because it felt very... I don't know. Sometimes songs feel like you're trying to catch bits of speck and dust and sunlight, like you can't really grab on, or it's not a tangible thing. But I felt like a songwriter that day. I sat down with a very clear intent, and I made something that I was proud of at the end of it.
Cool, especially if it gave you like kind of vision and mission for the future too.
Yeah.
If you're just like, okay, this is what I want to go. This is the direction that I want to go in.
Yeah, it felt very clear that was sort of a path that I wanted to keep running down.
Cool. And cool that you were doing like an online thing, like an online course.
It was through this organization called School of Song. They've done courses with Adrian Lenker from Big Thief. Laura Marling just did one. But they get these incredible songwriters to come in and talk about their process. And you can sign up and just learn so much.
Cool.
Sounds you should do one.
You have a song called Left-Handed Delights. I wanted to ask about that.
Oh my God.
I'm left-handed, and we seem to always attract like left-handed people. So it's just something that like.
Okay. I'm sorry. The song is misleading. I'm not left-handed.
Oh, okay.
I'm right-handed. It was through the same songwriting course that I took, and they showed us. I don't remember the name of it, which is terrible, but it was this very famous trifold piece of art that on the left hand side was hell and on the right hand side was heaven, and in the middle was earth. And it was kind of this chaotic, there was lots of different things happening in the painting. And it was a really quick prompt. I think I had 5 minutes to come up with a verse and a chorus. And because I was more drawn to what was happening on the left-handed side of the painting, I was talking about like the left-handed delights.
Oh, okay.
And then it became, I play in a band with mainly men, and they made a lot of jokes about what that left-handed delight actually was.
Yeah.
It didn't have to do with that.
Feels like it's somebody else.
Yeah.
The joke. Oh my God. Yeah, band with a bunch of men. Good on you. I don't know how you do it. Surprised you haven't invited a woman in just for moral support. Yeah, lots of fun.
It really, playing in a band with men, it's fun. It's just playing with really great musicians at the end of the day. I've gotten to do, it's almost 2 years ago now that we did this, but I teamed up with a couple other female musicians, and we did like a cosplay sort of show where we were Boy Genius. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Boy Genius.
Yeah, totally.
So I got to be Lucy Dacus, and Nicole Sermonera got to be Julian Baker, and our friend Kiki, who goes by Flower Girl, was Phoebe Bridgers, and we learned all the harmonies and learned the songs. And
God,
so that was a really making music with women is a completely separate kind of experience. It's really cool.
Totally. Yeah, I don't know. Like on a regular basis, it can maybe be dramatic, but I guess it depends on the women.
I mean, musicians are musicians. We're all dramatic.
Yeah.
We're all kind of in our head. Everybody's a little egotistical.
Yeah.
That part doesn't actually differ too much between the genders, at least I find.
Yeah, I think it's a even weirder balance. You go from like super egocentric to like, hating yourself.
Yes. Yeah, it's a quick
one
flip.
Or the other. Yeah, it can happen just from like, somebody looks at you like, oh.
Very much so, yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, I guess on the flip side, I mean, it's not that it, not a favorite, but what was the song that challenged you the most to create?
I don't know. They're all challenges in their own little way.
And I think you, by the sounds of it, to me anyways, is that you're putting yourself in those scenarios where you are challenging yourself by, taking and trying to work with new collaborations and trying to, do online things. That's really like challenging in itself, right? It sounds like you are intentionally challenging yourself.
I try to. And I think that maybe I'll say the song I haven't written yet is probably the one that's challenged me the most. Like, it always feels like there's something else coming down the pipe.
Amazing.
And it's not quite here yet.
Yeah.
So that's always going to be the challenge.
Awesome.
Do you have another album in the works or plans for one?
I do. So I realized today while I was driving here that a year ago we put down all the beds for the next record. So I've got the drums, the guitars, the bass, all done. And I unfortunately have just had like a bit of a tumultuous year in that I haven't been able to put the rest of the pieces together, but it's halfway there. I'm hoping that in the next couple months I'll be able to create the space and time to finish it up, and then it'll be working its way out into the world.
Nice.
Wow. I feel like, when was your last album? When did it come out?
It was July of 23. So
July of 23.
Almost 2 years ago now.
Not even that long ago.
It feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy.
Huh. Yeah, I feel like you got to space your beautiful creations out, you know? Don't give it all away.
No, they kind of songs kind of haunt me when they're sitting in the back of my head or in the back of my closet. I just want them to be out into the world.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, if you're on a roll, keep going.
Yeah. So yeah, I was listening to some of your stuff on Spotify, and then I kind of stumbled across the show you did at Massey Hall.
Oh yeah,
I was dying.
That was crazy.
I was like, oh my, that's like, you know, dream venue. What a venue.
It was, the whole thing was just kind of nuts, and really, in all honesty, I just sweet talked my way into that.
Yeah, because it was all like a Canadian
Chest Fever is an American band. They're from California, but they do this recreation of the band that prior to Robbie Robertson's passing, he kind of said, this is the close. If you love the band, this is the closest you're going to get now.
Okay.
So these guys had come through. I work as a venue manager and like a booking person for Warehouse Concert Hall in St. Catharines. Okay. So they had come through the venue while I was at work. And the first time they came, it was just explosive and so fun to hear that music honored in that way. And they're pretty era specific. So they roll up with a little stand-up piano and a Leslie speaker and an organ, and they're not recreating sounds on stage. They're bringing the real gear and getting it on, packing it onto teeny tiny stages and making it happen. So I really enjoyed watching them do that. And then the next time they came through, they were...
This was at the Warehouse?
This was at Warehouse. Okay. So this would have been September of 2023.
Okay.
I was chatting with the guitar player, and they had already started to announce that they were doing a recreation of The Last Waltz at Massey Hall on the weekend that The Last Waltz had happened in the past. Mm-hmm. And so, it started with me saying, who's your Joni? I should be your Joni. I really want to be your Joni Mitchell. And then we're rightfully like, we have somebody else be Joni Mitchell, but you can sing. And they didn't realize that I was a musician on top of, you know, just having this other job.
Yeah.
So we kind of chatted about it, and they're like, yeah, like we'll take a lesson. Like maybe you can come play. And I was really excited because in my head I was like, okay, this is a done deal. But they very much were very clearly, we have to listen and make sure that you're not full of shit here.
Yeah.
And then the next day I got a message, and it was the guitar player saying, we checked out your music. Do you want to come sing?
Amazing.
So I got to sing. They picked a not well-known song for me. It was called Out of the Blue, and it's technically not in the concert film. It's on the Last Waltz suite. So it was some songs that were recorded in around the same time but didn't make it into the score. Is it Scorsese that did The Last Waltz? No, I can't remember. Yeah, I think it's
I don't know.
I think it's
I'm not sure.
I think it's Scorsese who did it. Anyways,
we'll fact check.
Yes, it's Scorsese.
Okay.
It didn't make it in the concert film, but it was in the Last Waltz suite. Okay. And it's a Robbie Robertson song, and it's kind of this forlorn love song, but it had a string section and a horn section. So I got to sing with a mini orchestra
at
Massey Hall, which was just...
I was losing it.
Amazing.
Like, you must have been going crazy.
I was.
Yeah, I totally forgot that we saw you at the Warehouse, and I remember thinking that. I was like, there's a celebrity bartending. But that makes sense. Because you're doing, you're like working with them.
Yeah,
you know, like the owner and producer? Or?
It's owned by a little corporation that's owned by three men.
Okay.
It's the same owners of Trust Beer Bar and Super Burger downtown. One of the guys is also part owner of the Merchant Ale House. So they've kind of like owned and operated stuff in downtown St. Catharines for years.
It's a fun venue. I love that place. One of my dance teachers is Ethan's partner, Celeste.
Is she really?
Yeah, Celeste is our dance teacher.
That's so funny. Yeah, I live across the street from Celeste and Ethan right now.
Come on. Amazing.
Ethan's the sweetest.
Yeah, I love them.
They're
the best
so awesome.
guy. Yeah, we ended up meeting Ethan, and then he was saying, oh, my girlfriend's at school at George Brown. She's a dancer. And I had opened the dance studio, and I was like, oh, as soon as she graduates, please call me.
That's what a small world.
Yeah, small city.
Yeah.
I love her.
Really, really small.
Amazing. All right, we are probably ready for a break.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah,
we'll come
we'll take a
back and we
break.
want to talk about kind of just your influences growing up and kind of your personal journey, how you came to be Sleepy Jean.
Cool. Sounds good.
Cool. We'll be back.
I'm okay to go?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. This is a forthcoming song. This is actually the first kind of Sleepy Jean song that wasn't completely written by me. It was written by our bass player, Miles, and it's called Time to Time. When I saw you yesterday and you turned to hide your face, I know you had to shake a hand or two, but I couldn't help myself from feeling blue. Oh, I still think about you time to time. I was walking by your place. You were home, but you looked away. I know you hate to see me coming through, but I couldn't help but get a glimpse of you. Oh, I still think about you time and time. Can I still call you friend? I got it way back there, 'cause I'd be so happy if you came my way. Oh yeah, oh yeah. When I try to plead my case that it hurts to get replaced, you had to do what you had to do, but it didn't help to take my shit out on you. I still think about you time to time. Still think about you time to time. You never fall from my mind. I think about you time to time.
Good. Angel voice.
Oh, thank you.
Ah, so good. Yeah, so let's get back into it. We were discussing this. We were like, oh, who do you think, her musical influences growing up were? So yeah, what music were you into?
Who do you think it was? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah,
I'm always curious what people hear.
Yeah, I said Nancy Sinatra, but I bet like as a kid you were into, I don't know, Tiffany.
I mean, the earliest musical influences were definitely just stuff my parents were listening to. So I had a healthy mix of 1980s classic rock. There was a lot of Dire Straits, a lot of Supertramp. My dad really liked The Doors.
Okay.
I can remember listening to Riders on the Storm.
Oh, yeah.
And dancing to the thunderstorm in that song.
Yeah.
And then my mom really liked pop music. So I can remember in, mid 90s, it was a lot of Backstreet Boys. She was constantly singing that OKC song, How Bizarre.
Oh, yeah.
Spice Girls. Britney Spears until Britney Spears was too risque for me and my sisters, and then no more Britney Spears. So those were the original. That was just what I was hearing. And then when I kind of grew into the age where I was starting to make decisions for myself, I was really lucky in that neither one of my parents were huge Beatles fans, so I got to find the Beatles for myself.
Okay.
Which was a big deal. They were a really big influential band.
Okay.
And that kind of spawned into, you know, if you like the Beatles, you can kind of follow that singer-songwriter route through. Then I got really into Elliott Smith, which ended up being into Fleet Foxes, and you can kind of just follow that through line.
You love Elliott Smith.
Yeah.
There's a jazz singer called Madeleine Peyroux. Do you know her?
I recognize that name.
Okay. I put it on all the time at Christmas, but like your music kind of reminds me of hers.
That's always so wild to me when people say that. I remind them of something that I haven't actually listened to before.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, we'll send it to you. Maybe you'll be like...
Yeah, Madeleine Peyroux. I definitely have heard that name before.
Yeah, she's so good. French?
Must be.
No, but I think you can kind of hear the French accent in her singing.
Maybe.
I don't know. I thought
that's even cooler.
Yeah.
It's cool to be French. That's great.
Yeah, totally. Actually, I heard your Eleanor Rigsby cover.
Oh,
so good.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So good.
That was, I really had wanted to do a recorded cover to kick off the album cycle. And I remember when we locked in how we were going to differentiate that third verse and make it a little bit different with the stops in it.
Yeah.
That once we locked it in, we were like, oh, okay, this is going to be really cool when we get it recorded.
Yeah.
And I also remember the bass line that the bass player had to play was really difficult because it was super rhythmic and quick. And the guitar player wrote it, and the bass player at the time, Waylon, who is lovely and still kind of plays around when he can, but he ended up joining a little band called Talk, and he has been being a rock star with Talk and Running Away to Mars and all that stuff. But I can remember Waylon saying, this is really tough.
Yeah.
But he got it done, and he did an excellent job.
Yeah. It was so good.
Yeah, we did that in 2 days, I think. It was really quick. Yeah.
I mean, it's a cover, so the song's written for you.
Yes.
But oh my god, it was so good. I loved
it. All of the choices were pretty clear once we landed that arrangement.
Yeah. Like how you were going to change it, how you going to do your own thing.
Where my voice was going to go,
right.
And what extra instruments we needed and how it was going to feel. It was pretty immediate, which was cool.
Yeah, it's nice when it just speaks to you and you're like,
yes.
I was made to do this.
Yeah. And it's still it feels really fun to play live.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, I mean, if the Beatles were your, it was an influence growing up, then it's always fun to do a cover of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, the next one would definitely be, if I got to do a Joni Mitchell cover, that would be
the next.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm a big Joni
keep our
fan.
ears open for it. Do you have a moment that you realized that you were going to pursue music seriously? I mean, you were saying even before university that you were playing, so.
Yeah, well, like I talked about there, I started singing publicly really young.
Yeah, that's right.
And it kind of, it's a crazy thing to talk about now, but it ballooned really quickly. It started, a neighbor heard me singing on a picnic table in my backyard when I was 8, and he worked for the junior B team in Welland. So I got to sing at a junior B game, and it just so happened that at that junior B game, there was a rep for the AHL for like an AHL team. So then I got to sing for the Hamilton Bulldogs, and then at the Hamilton Bulldogs, somebody from the Blue Jays was there, and then it was the Blue Jays, and then
crazy.
Somehow it spiraled into being. I did a sold out Sabres Canadiens game when I was 11.
Huh.
So, and the week before, whoever had sang the anthems screwed up the Canadian anthem, didn't know the lyrics, which you can't really do at a Sabres Leafs game in Buffalo. No. So they brought me over the next week to sing this Canadian game.
Get this 11-year-old, she'll nail it.
Everybody lost their mind. Yeah. I can remember them losing their minds and understanding that the person last week had screwed it up, so they had sort of teed me up to do really well this week since I knew both anthems.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that was, in my very young life.
11.
I had been doing
Your
these
parents were all supportive of it? And,
Oh, yeah. I mean, my poor mom, I think she felt all of the stress of the situation that my little brain wasn't capable of comprehending.
Yeah.
Right.
I can remember I had it's called a pitch pipe. It's like a little harmonica to give you your first note.
Yeah.
And she would blow it incessantly in my ear and say, do you have your note? Sing your note back to me. Do you have your note? You can't lose your note. Don't fall on the ice. Don't look around too much. When you get out there, start singing. Don't pause.
She was just dealing with her own nerves,
all
right?
of the anxiety of what a big deal it was.
Right.
I remember too, a teacher at school had said, say go Habs when you're done. And I ran it past my mom. And I was like, do I say go Habs? And she's, do not do that. If you ever want to sing there, do not do that.
Wow, what a teacher. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Funny. Shout out Mr. Hayning if you're listening to this.
Yeah, hilarious.
Anyways, I had been doing these kind of weird big things.
Singing,
very, very young.
Right.
But I also remember my aunt had gotten us iPods, the first generation of iPods when I would have been 12 or 13, and
the
a copy
iPod classics.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Beatles, it was when the Cirque du Soleil thing was a big deal, and the Beatles Love CD, and it was on my iPod. I keep wanting to say pad, but it was my iPod.
Yeah.
And there's a really beautiful version of While My Guitar Gently Weeps on that record. It's not the Eric Clapton face melting solo that everybody got used to. It's the acoustic demo they recorded the day before with just George and a guitar.
Oh, wow.
And they added in some strings. And I can remember sitting in the back of my parents' van, probably driving to a party at my uncle's house and listening to that song over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And deciding that all I wanted to do is play music and that there wasn't going to be anything else for me, that this was... And I remember feeling very serious at 12 or 13, sitting in the back of this car. And,
making this decision.
Yeah, and I have lyrics from that song tattooed on my arm so that whenever, I've played 5 cover gigs this week and I'm not particularly feeling connected or inspired to why I'm doing this anymore.
Yeah.
I try and think of that kid
moment
that would just be so thrilled that I've managed to survive, mainly on having a life filled with in and around music.
Yeah, it's crazy, eh? To tell your childhood self, you're like, I did it, and then your adult self's just like, it's not all I thought it was going to be.
I think it's more my adult self likes to convince myself that no, you cheated somehow. This isn't what we meant.
Oh my
So keep going. This
Yeah.
isn't quite what we meant yet. You have to keep pushing.
Yeah, you just want to keep yourself motivated and inspired to keep doing it, right? Yeah.
There definitely was a moment after I got to do that Massey Hall thing that I was like, I could maybe be done now. Like this
could be the
was
moment. Yeah.
that was a big deal to somehow sweet talk myself onto this stage and to get up here and
That
really
venue.
felt like I belonged to be there for those 2.5 minutes, and then that could be it. But instead, what ends up happening is now I need to go back and play my own songs. That didn't count.
Yeah. I need it again and again
Yes.
and again, bigger and more.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you had kind of mentioned you're from Welland. Did your hometown influence any of your music?
I'd say early on it definitely did. When I was a teenager growing up in Welland, I caught the end of the hardcore phase. Alexis on Fire had already broken.
Hanging out at Red Square.
I didn't ever get to go to Red Square. I got to go to the Rex a couple of times and see Attack and Black play, which was my Welland version of seeing the Beatles.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy.
We've seen Attack and Black a bunch.
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
They were probably the Beatles were obviously my Beatles in high school, but Attack and Black was a very close second to that for me.
So good.
And I ended up meeting Dan and Ian's parents, who are also both musicians, and the first recorded demos that I ever did properly were in their basement with their dad playing all the instruments.
No
Amazing.
way.
So David and Joni are both just I can't speak enough to what incredible humans they are, and they really recognize that my parents weren't weren't musical in the way that they were, and the way that they were able to nurture their voice. Like it's not a surprise that they have been as successful as they are, because
Right.
both of their parents knew how to help them
Nurture their talent.
and
Put them in the right places, teach them the business.
and not, but just how to foster creativity at the end of the day, how to build a home that was built around that. And they recognized that my parents obviously were very supportive and only wanted to see me do well, but also didn't have the same intrinsic knowledge that they did. So they kind of did a couple different little things to really take me under their wing in a beautiful way that I still feel so grateful for all these years later.
Yeah.
And I get to run into them at the venue, and it's so lovely.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah. That's what we're hoping for our kids. Just music and art in every single space in our house.
Well, yeah, but I mean, even just, I get that nobody on the podcast can see what I'm seeing down here, but you've built a space where that's the thing. That's what they're going to grow up doing. It'll be second nature for them.
Or not. Well, who knows, right? Maybe they could swing the total other way and be like my hippie, crazy parents. Like, we're out of here.
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe they could be like, you know, business, like,
I don't think
suit
so.
wearing.
I remember reading a story that George Harrison's kid, Donnie, chose to go to military school just to piss off his dad.
Yeah.
Which I think is so funny.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, eventually the contrarian part of a child's personality will come out.
Exactly.
It will.
Yeah. We'll see.
We always try and keep it fun. We're not forcing them to. Well, they take piano lessons.
Yeah, but that's just good for your brain.
Exactly.
And you're not really supposed to love piano lessons. I think as a musician, I'm allowed to say that.
It's the starting point.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll be thankful for it later. You don't have to like it while it's happening.
Exactly. You don't understand why you're doing it when you're a kid, I think.
Well, I was going to say that during all the, obviously you were showing all this like musical talent at such a young age. Were you taking music lessons?
Yeah.
Okay.
The elementary school I went to in the falls before we moved to Welland. I lived in the falls till I was 6 or something like that. I don't really remember it. But they had some sort of program where you could pay for your kid to go in a little broom closet with an upright piano set up once or twice a week.
Wow.
For a really affordable, easy price. So my parents did that because I was always singing at home.
Right.
And by the second or third time, the music teacher called my mom and said she could be singing at weddings and doing stuff in a couple of years if you put her in lessons.
Nurture this.
So my mom's grandfather bought me a little keyboard, and I started taking piano lessons and started taking singing lessons, and it was there by the time I was 6 or 7 that I was already kind of in structured learning environments.
Wow. So fun. Do either of your sisters play or are involved in music?
Both are big music fans. I think my youngest sister, Kelsey, has just one of the best voices ever. We used to do gigs together, and the tone of I like her voice better than I like my own. I would listen to her sing all day long. My other sister, Carly, played drums. We actually did one gig together as the Gatta sisters something like 7 or 8 years ago, and it will probably never happen again. But it was really fun while it lasted.
Maybe one day.
Probably not, but it was really fun while it lasted.
My gosh.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, my last couple of questions were just, and I've really loved doing this because we obviously with the podcast are kind of creating this community and working within the industry. So yeah, the music industry is continuously changing. How do you kind of navigate through that? I mean, you've talked a little bit about going through the pandemic and what that meant for your music and your songwriting, but how do you kind of keep navigating through that going forward?
I mean, I think the internet and the way that the music community can now interact with one another, it's really interesting. It's been the great equalizer, but it's also been the great noisemaker at the same time. So whenever I'm talking to musicians who are trying to build something for themselves, I'm constantly advocating for building something without anybody else in the industry being able to touch it. Build an online following, build something that is yours that you can, foster your own community around. Yeah. And that's kind of the most important thing.
Yeah. And I think you said something really interesting. And I always say this to people too, is it's going to look different for everyone. I think we have this idea of what it looks like to be a musician or be an artist or be, a dancer in my field. And I think that people really need to keep in mind too, for myself, and what I'm always like preaching to people is, be involved. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're the star on the stage, playing that big show. Just being around it, right? Getting yourself a job that like involves being around other artists or other musicians of the community part.
Getting to connect little community dots has been one of the greatest sort of unsung joys in that side of work.
Totally.
Like even something as simple as getting to collaborate on putting together public programming that combines well-known Canadian touring artists with local bands, and specifically picking the pairings so that the touring artist sees the right local band, so that that connection gets made, and then maybe something will spark from that.
Yeah.
I like think of myself as some sort of evil genius. Like I picture Pinky and the Brain, and I'm the brain going like twiddling my fingers. But it really is a joy.
More like a matchmaker, like a Cupid, like a musical Cupid.
Obviously, my psyche does not allow me to think of myself that positively. But yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That you can like connect these little puzzle pieces, and everybody can be better for it.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like you said, lifting other bands up and putting them in like a show scenario is so powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting to watch like other musicians, succeed and like kind of showcasing them.
It's so cool to watch bands grow.
So cool.
It's really been interesting to see young bands come through the venue, and over the course of a year, their sets completely change. Their sound will change, and their musicality will grow. Their playing will get so much tighter. It's really rewarding work. It's really, really cool.
It's actually funny. I felt that with we've seen the Decemberists a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
And there was one time that we were watching them, and like we'd probably seen them like 4 or 5 times before. And like he'd grown a beard, and they were all older, and it felt like that. I was like, wow, it's like watching like the kids grow up or something. Like I was so proud of them. Like I wasn't there just to see the show. I was like, I feel like proud like a dad would, but I'm like, that's so weird because they're all way older than me. And
not way older.
Yeah.
Not way, but
no, but I get what you mean. I really like getting to see unique things now too. It was not last year, but the year before, Chris Murphy from Sloan started doing solo touring, and it just so happened that his first ever solo show was at Warehouse. And I had these really kind of lovely conversations with him that he was nervous that he wasn't used to not playing with a band, that this was nerve-wracking for him. And I found that so endearing that,
big band.
Sloan's an institution.
Yeah.
I saw Sloan at Isaac's as well.
I can't say enough good things about Sloan. And also Chris Murphy is like Canadian East Coast Larry David.
Oh,
he is.
Oh, yeah, great.
He made. I'll show you when this is over. But he made a video for me. My boyfriend, who's also a musician, once rented Chris Murphy a car when he worked at Enterprise in Toronto. And at the end of the night, Chris offered to give me something for free, and I said, no, I want to pay for it. But will you make me a little video saying that you remember my boyfriend at this car dealership? He said, no. It has to be a skit. And he enlisted the bartender and made me film a fake skit that he made up talking about how he remembered my boyfriend from Enterprise.
Wow.
And it's still on my phone and to this day.
Hello, TikTok.
No, it's never for TikTok. It's for me. Just to know that Chris Murphy did that for a random stranger that he met out of
That's
Sloan's
so great.
He's the best. Sloan's the best.
Yeah.
They make the best music.
Yeah,
their
music
live show is still
incredible.
Killer.
Yeah, it's so clean. The sound is just so good. Oh, so awesome. If you could collaborate with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be?
There's way too many good options there.
Okay.
I would want to put together
the dream band.
A 70s style dream band.
Musical Cupid.
Yeah, I would want George Harrison. I would want Jocko. I would want Joni. I'd probably want, I'd probably want Levon Helm. Or, so many different options. But it would also be so cool to go further back and play with, I don't know, Billie Holiday, or like get to sit in with Stan Getz and Astrid Gilberto, or there's way too many options.
Okay.
That's
too hard of a question.
I should have a better answer for that.
No, that was amazing.
But
I love that.
There would just be so many people.
Yeah.
And like by collaborate, I mean, I would, collaborating for me would just be sitting there and staring and be like, you just do what you do and I'm going to watch.
You'd be up there.
I'm
like,
going to be a little sponge and I'm going to try and just soak up whatever the hell's happening here.
Yeah. Just sitting on a jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we kind of touched on this a little bit already, but yeah, how do you balance the artistic side, the playing side, with the business side?
I mean, I think for anybody, it's really difficult. I don't do, for being as well versed as I am on the industry side, especially participating in a portion of the industry. Mm-hmm. I don't do any of the things that you're supposed to do right. I do not take any of my own advice. I know I should be all over the internet. I know I should be TikToking and making videos and creating a community and a presence. But I have yet to figure out how to do that in a genuine way. So I would say that my attempt to balance the artistic side with the business side is only pursuing things that feel genuine to me.
Yeah, I mean, you're still like booking your gigs. You're still, you're doing collaborations that you want to be doing. So I think that's still like a big part of business. And I think you touched on it, but I've really felt this because I've gone from like, just being strictly an artist and only doing the choreography to now taking a stronger role in the business side.
Right.
And it takes a toll on your mental health. Like, I mean, people that are saying they're staying away from it because it's, it's artificial or it's whatever.
It's
but
not for the weak of heart.
No.
And it's to commodify something that you love.
It's not healthy.
No.
to do it.
No.
So, yeah.
But we are all just trying to exist in this weirdo capitalist society that we reside within.
Yeah.
And you got to make it happen.
I know.
I think at the end of the day, music on the whole is a force for good and lets people connect to one another. And if you try and center that at the core of all of your business practices, it makes even the stuff that maybe isn't as fun to bear a little bit easier to stomach.
For sure. I always say to him, I'm like, you're being selfish, not sharing your art with the world. Like it's a gift, you need to like give it out and give it to people. And I know obviously there is this, we have to pay the bills. But I think you're right. If you can like kind of keep it as the focus that like your art is something to share and it really can benefit and change people's lives. If you keep that the focus, then, the business art becomes a lot less artificial.
Yes.
It's more genuine, like you said.
For sure.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So what's next for Sleepy Jean? Any upcoming projects or things that you were talking about an album coming out? Maybe?
So we got to finish up that album. That's the big thing. We've got a couple of shows coming up. We have one that will be announced shortly. We're going to be playing June 12th at Warehouse Concert Hall alongside an incredible musician from the East Coast named Braden Lamb. I'm also selfishly really excited. We have like a really fun bass sub that day. Our regular guy Miles wasn't available, and I've got like a celebrity guest player, so that's super fun. You'll have to stop by the show to find out who it is.
Yeah, okay. June 12th?
June 12th.
Okay.
And that'll be at Warehouse Concert Hall. And then we'll
put the details at the bottom of the podcast.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we're also playing, we'll be playing the Lakeside Park Canada Day celebration again this year.
Amazing.
Which I'm really looking forward to.
Cool. Yeah. All right. We will definitely check it out. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thanks is awesome. For having me. This is so fun. And will you close us and take us out with one more?
Sure.
Your beautiful songs.
This one is going to be on the next record. I wrote it. Again, I feel like all of these songs are pandemic era things. I went to go see. I went to go see a socially distanced concert in Belleville, and drove 4 hours to get there. Watched this beautiful concert. It was amazing, and then decided with the friend I was with that we weren't going to stay in a hotel. We were just going to make the trek back, and it would have been like hour 6 of driving that day on the highway. We saw a deer dart out into the road. And I swerved and missed it, but a transport truck hit it. And I remember the abject terror that just was fizzling in my body as I watched that head go over my car. And all I could keep thinking was, please don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. Don't hit me. So I turned it into a song.
Wow. Amazing.
So this is called Don't Hit Me.
Oh my gosh.
I like to tell this story because otherwise it could be misconstrued as a different kind of being hit, and it's not that. How did you know when to leave your body? How did you know you were headed home? While I was bleeding at the party, tell me what was the way in which you know I couldn't lift my foot off the floor. I couldn't say what I saw for sure. On the corner in the gravel store, that's where I swore I saw you float. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't. Don't hit me, don't. I dreamt of swerving on the highway, keeping the scream lodged in my throat. I saw your soul jump from your body, driving westward over red and rose. I couldn't lift my foot off the floor. I couldn't say what I saw for sure. On the shoulder in the gravel stone, that's where I swore I saw you float down. Hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't. Don't hit me, don't. I never believed I couldn't conceive of it. Your head flying through the air. Oh, but your eyes never. Stop staring, staring through me. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me, don't. Don't hit me, don't ever believe. I never
So beautiful for such a grotesque image.
Yeah.
To
What?
see a deer head flying through the air.
I've always joked that if we make a music video for it,
Oh,
I want
man, it'll
the
be
video to
great.
be deers driving the car and my head going over.
My God, I
Oh.
love that. It's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do that yet, but
It can be
somehow
done.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and you'll never miss a podcast.